You know that feeling, don't you? When you wake up in the morning and instead of feeling refreshed, there's just a little less oomph than there used to be. Or maybe you notice it later in the day, that slump that hits harder, or those little aches that seem to settle in a bit more stubbornly. It's easy to just shrug and say, well, that's getting older for you. We've all done it. But what if I told you that maybe, just maybe, it's not just the years passing? What if some of the things we do every single day, without even thinking twice, are actually quietly putting our foot on the accelerator when it comes to aging? Hi, everyone, and a warm welcome. My name is Elder Voices, and if you're over 60 and feeling like your vitality is draining a bit faster than you'd like, this conversation is especially for you. Today, and over the next little while, we're going to talk about something truly empowering: how to slow down that feeling of aging faster than necessary. We're going to uncover 4 very common daily habits, things many of us do on autopilot, that science shows can actually sabotage our longevity and make us feel older than our years. And crucially, we'll talk about simple, practical ways to fix them. No magic pills, no extreme diets, just real-life adjustments that can make a world of difference. Because here's the beautiful truth that decades of research are revealing. We have far more control over how we age than we ever thought possible. It's not about chasing some impossible fountain of youth, but about removing the roadblocks we might unknowingly be putting in our own path. It's about feeling vibrant, energetic, and truly enjoying this chapter of life for as long as possible. Doesn't that sound worthwhile? So, let's roll up our sleeves gently and start with the first habit that might be quietly working against us. This one is so basic, so fundamental, yet incredibly easy to neglect, especially as we get older. I'm talking about not drinking enough water. Now, I know, you've heard it before, drink more water. But stick with me, because the why and how it affects aging specifically for us are really important. You see, as we age, our sense of thirst naturally diminishes. That internal signal that used to tell us loud and clear, hey, time for a drink, becomes much quieter, much easier to ignore. We might just not feel thirsty very often. Combine that with maybe cutting back on fluids to avoid those extra trips to the bathroom. And it's a recipe for being constantly underhydrated. Why does this speed up aging? Well, water is the absolute bedrock of every single process in our body. It lubricates our joints. Think about those creaky knees or stiff fingers. It helps our kidneys flush out toxins that build up over time. It keeps our skin plump and resilient. Dehydration is a fast track to looking and feeling more wrinkled and tired. It's essential for good digestion, helping things move smoothly to avoid constipation, which is no fun at any age. And critically, even mild dehydration can make us feel foggy-headed, fatigued, and downright low on energy. It literally makes our cells work less efficiently, putting stress on the whole system and accelerating wear and tear. So, how do we fix this stealthy aging accelerator? It's not about forcing down gallons. Think small, consistent sips. Start your day with a full glass of water, before coffee, before tea, just plain water. Keep a glass or a bottle you like right where you can see it throughout the day, by your favorite chair on the kitchen counter. If plain water feels like a chore, jazz it up. Add a slice of lemon, lime, cucumber, or a few berries for a hint of flavor. Herbal teas, without caffeine, count too. Pay attention to the color of your urine. Aim for pale yellow. And don't wait until you feel thirsty. That signal comes too late. Make sipping water just part of your routine, like taking your vitamins. You might be amazed at how much better your joints feel, how much clearer your head is, and how much more energy you have simply by giving your body this fundamental resource it desperately needs. All right, let's move on to the second habit that can subtly chip away at our vitality: poor sleep quality. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Sleep? MIH? Good luck. It's true. Sleep patterns often change as we get older. We might wake up earlier, have more trouble falling asleep, or wake up during the night. It's common, but that doesn't mean it's harmless or just something we have to accept. In fact, consistently poor sleep is like throwing gasoline on the fire of aging. Think of sleep as your body's essential nightly repair shop. While you're resting, incredible things happen. Your brain cleans out metabolic waste products. Think of it like taking out the trash, which is crucial for preventing cognitive decline and keeping your memory sharp. Your body releases growth hormone, which helps repair tissues and build muscle, vital for maintaining strength and balance. Your immune system recharges and gets ready to fight off infections. Your heart and blood vessels get a chance to rest and recover. When you cut this repair time short night after night, or the sleep you get is fragmented and shallow, none of this vital maintenance happens properly. The result? Feeling constantly exhausted, of course, but also increased inflammation throughout the body, a major driver of aging and chronic disease, a weaker immune system, making you more susceptible to every bug going around, faster muscle loss, worse memory and focus, and even an increased risk for things like heart disease and diabetes. It literally ages you from the inside out. So what can we do? Fighting for sleep doesn't have to be a battle. It's about creating an environment and routine that invites restful sleep. First, try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's internal clock. Make your bedroom a sanctuary for sleep. Cool, dark, and quiet. Blackout curtains are fantastic, and maybe consider a white noise machine if outside sounds bother you. An hour before bed, start winding down. Dim the lights. Avoid screens. The blue light from TVs, phones, and tablets seriously messes with your sleep hormone, melatonin. Instead, try reading a physical book, not an e-reader, listening to calming music, or a gentle stretching routine. Watch what you eat and drink close to bedtime. Heavy meals, caffeine, and even too much alcohol, which might make you drowsy initially but disrupt sleep later, can sabotage your night. If you wake up and can't fall back asleep after 20 minutes, don't lie there frustrated. Get up, go to another dimly lit room, and do something quiet and calming until you feel sleepy again. Prioritizing sleep isn't lazy. It's one of the most powerful anti-aging strategies you have. It's giving your body the time and space it needs to heal, restore, and keep you feeling young. Now, these first two habits, staying hydrated and prioritizing good sleep, are like laying the essential groundwork. They address fundamental needs our bodies have to function well and resist the wear and tear of time. But there are other everyday choices, things that might seem harmless or even enjoyable, that can also quietly work against our goal of aging well and feeling vibrant. Things we might do almost without thinking, perhaps even believing they're helping, when in reality, they might be doing the opposite. We'll start uncovering those next time, and I promise, some of them might surprise you, because understanding what's really going on is the first, powerful step towards making simple changes that can truly help turn back the clock on how you feel every single day. It's all about reclaiming that energy and zest. So, I hope you'll join me for the next part of our conversation. It's going to be just as practical, just as hopeful. Until then, maybe fill up that water glass one more time and think about giving yourself the gift of a truly restful night tonight. You deserve it. Take good care. Welcome back. I hope you found a moment or two to sip a little more water and maybe thought about how you might gently invite a better night's sleep into your life. Those truly are the foundations, aren't they? Giving our bodies the basic fuel and repair time they desperately need. Now, let's talk about two more everyday habits that often fly completely under our radar. These aren't usually things we worry about. In fact, they can feel perfectly normal, even comfortable. But just like that slow leak we talked about, they can quietly drain our vitality and speed up the aging process without us even realizing it. The first one might surprise you, especially if you consider yourself fairly active, sitting too much, the modern sedentary trap. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm retired. I've earned the right to relax in my favorite chair. And absolutely, rest and relaxation are vital, especially after a lifetime of hard work. But here's the catch. Our bodies weren't designed for prolonged stillness. Think about it. For most of human history, movement was woven into the fabric of daily life. Today, it's startlingly easy to spend hours sitting, reading, watching TV, chatting on the phone, even browsing the internet. The problem isn't resting. It's the accumulation of stillness. When we sit for long stretches, especially without breaking it up, several things happen that accelerate aging. First, our circulation slows down significantly. Blood pools in our legs, making it harder for our heart to pump efficiently and reducing the flow of oxygen and nutrients to our muscles, brain, and organs. This sluggishness can leave us feeling fatigued and foggy. Second, our muscles, particularly in our legs and core, start to essentially switch off. They aren't being used, so they weaken and lose mass much faster, a condition called sarcopenia, which is a major contributor to frailty, loss of balance, and increased risk of falls as we age. Third, sitting for long periods increases inflammation throughout the body and can make our cells less sensitive to insulin, raising the risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease, conditions that definitely make us feel older. And perhaps most surprisingly for many, sitting too much can even make joints stiffer and more painful. Not less, because movement is what keeps the lubricating synovial fluid flowing. So, how do we combat this without giving up our cherished relaxation time? The key isn't running marathons, it's simply breaking up the sitting. Think of it as movement snacks throughout your day. Set a gentle timer if it helps. Maybe every 30 or 45 minutes. When it goes off, that's your cue. Stand up. It's that simple. Just stand. Take a few deep breaths. Maybe walk to the kitchen for a glass of water. See how these habits connect. Walk to the window and look outside, or simply march gently in place for 30 seconds. If you're watching TV, stand up or walk around during the commercials. When you're on the phone, stand and pace if you can. Look for little opportunities. Park a bit farther from the store entrance. Take one flight of stairs instead of the elevator if you're able, or do a simple task like folding laundry while standing. The goal is frequent, short bursts of movement. This keeps your circulation humming, your muscles engaged, your joints lubricated, and your metabolism more active. It counteracts that stiff, achy feeling and helps maintain the strength and balance that keep you independent. Remember, it's not about intense exercise at this moment. It's about interrupting the stillness that ages us. Now, let's shift gears slightly to something that affects us all, but perhaps becomes even more impactful as we navigate the unique challenges and changes that come later in life. Letting stress build up unchecked. Stress. It's a word we hear constantly, but often dismiss as just part of life. I've handled stress my whole life, you might say. And you have. But chronic low-grade stress, the kind that simmers constantly from worries about health, finances, family, loneliness, or even just the pace of the modern world, is incredibly corrosive to our bodies and accelerates aging in profound ways. When we feel stressed, our bodies release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, the fight-or-flight chemicals. This is fantastic for escaping immediate danger, but when these hormones flood our system day after day without relief, they wreak havoc. Chronically high cortisol levels suppress our immune system, making us more susceptible to every cold, flu, and infection going around. It increases inflammation throughout the body, which is now recognized as a root cause of almost every age-related disease, from heart problems and arthritis to cognitive decline. Stress literally shrinks vital parts of our brain involved in memory and learning. It disrupts our sleep, undoing the good work we talked about earlier, wrecks our digestion, contributes to high blood pressure, and can even accelerate skin aging. Mentally and emotionally, chronic stress leaves us feeling anxious, irritable, overwhelmed, and drained of joy, feelings that certainly don't make us feel youthful and vibrant. The crucial point here is this. While we can't always eliminate the sources of stress, life happens. We absolutely can change how our bodies and minds respond to it. We can learn to turn down the volume on that internal alarm system. This is where cultivating simple, daily stress resilience practices becomes a powerful anti-aging tool. What does this look like? It doesn't mean hours of meditation, though that's great if you enjoy it. It means finding small, accessible moments of calm woven into your day. It could be as simple as taking 5 slow, deep breaths whenever you feel tension rising, inhaling deeply through your nose, letting your belly expand, and exhaling slowly through your mouth. It could be stepping outside for just a few minutes to feel the sun or breeze on your face, listening to the birds, and consciously letting go of the thoughts swirling in your head. It might be putting on a piece of music that instantly soothes you and just closing your eyes while you listen. Gentle movement like stretching, tai chi, or a short walk in nature is a double win. It counters sitting and reduces stress. Connecting with a friend, even just a quick phone call, can lift your spirits and shift your perspective. Even spending a few moments focusing on things you feel grateful for, a warm cup of tea, a beautiful flower, a kind word someone said, can actively rewire your brain away from stress patterns. The key is regularity. Doing a little bit, almost every day, builds your resilience over time. It's like putting money in your calm bank, so you have reserves when life gets stormy. By actively managing stress, you're not just feeling calmer in the moment. You're actively protecting your cells, your brain, your heart, and your overall vitality from the inside out. We've uncovered some hidden drains on our energy and youthfulness, haven't we? From the stillness that weakens us to the constant buzz of stress that wears us down. But there's one more powerful area where our daily choices have a massive impact on how we age, something deeply connected to the very core of our physical being. It's about what we put into our bodies, not just once, but consistently, day after day. And sometimes, the biggest culprits aren't the obvious junk food, but things we might genuinely believe are harmless or even beneficial. Understanding this final piece and how to make simple, satisfying adjustments can truly transform how you feel in your skin. That's exactly where we'll go next time. In the meantime, maybe see if you can catch yourself sitting for a bit too long today and take a stand, literally. And find just one small moment to take a deep breath and let a little bit of that stress melt away. Those small shifts, they're the beginning of feeling stronger, calmer, and more vibrant. Take good care, and I'll see you soon for the final part of our journey together. Welcome back. It's so good to see you again. We've been on quite a journey together, uncovering those everyday habits that can quietly chip away at our vitality. We talked about the foundational power of staying hydrated and prioritizing deep, restorative sleep. Then, we looked at how breaking up long sits and actively managing our stress response are crucial for keeping our bodies strong and our minds calm. These are powerful shifts, aren't they? Simple, yet profoundly impactful on how we feel day to day. Now, we come to the fourth habit, and it's one that truly fuels everything else. Eating in a way that fuels inflammation, not vitality. Now, hold on. Before anyone feels a pang of guilt or thinks I'm about to launch into a restrictive diet lecture, please hear me out. This isn't about deprivation or chasing some impossible ideal. It's about understanding a hidden force inside our bodies that plays a massive role in how fast we age, chronic inflammation, and how the foods we choose every single day can either fan its flames or help calm it down. Think of inflammation like this. When you cut your finger or twist your ankle, you get redness, swelling, heat, and pain. That's acute inflammation, your body's brilliant, necessary healing response rushing to the rescue. But chronic inflammation is different. It's a low-grade, smoldering fire that burns silently inside us, often for years, fueled by things like stress, lack of sleep, inactivity, and crucially, the foods we eat consistently. This constant background fire, it's like rust slowly eating away at metal. It damages our cells, our blood vessels, our joints, and even our brain over time. It's a primary driver behind heart disease, arthritis, cognitive decline, type 2 diabetes, and that general feeling of stiffness, fatigue, and just feeling old. So, how do our daily food choices accidentally pour gasoline on this fire? The biggest culprits for many of us are often hiding in plain sight. 1. The sugar spike and crash cycle. Those tempting sweets, sugary cereals, pastries, sodas, and even large amounts of fruit juice or refined carbs like white bread and pasta cause our blood sugar to skyrocket. Our body panics, releases a flood of insulin to bring it down, and often overshoots, leading to a crash that leaves us feeling drained, irritable, and craving more sugar. This constant roller coaster creates oxidative stress and fuels inflammation. Plus, consistently high blood sugar damages tissues over time, glycation, making our skin less elastic and contributing to stiffness. 2. The hidden fats. Not all fats are created equal. While fats from avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil are fantastic, the highly processed vegetable oils, like corn, soybean, sunflower oils, often called industrial seed oils, that are common in fried foods, fast food, packaged snacks, crackers, and margarines are pro-inflammatory. They're high in omega-6 fatty acids, and when our omega-6 to omega-3 ratio gets too skewed, which is common in modern diets, it directly promotes inflammation. 3. The processed food trap. Convenience foods, frozen dinners, deli meats, sausages, chips, mini crackers, instant noodles, are often loaded with refined carbs, unhealthy fats, excess salt, and a cocktail of preservatives and additives. These ingredients are foreign to our bodies in large quantities and trigger inflammatory responses. They also tend to be low in the fiber and vital nutrients our bodies desperately need for repair and resilience. Now, the fix isn't about a rigid diet or banning your favorite treats forever. It's about making simple, sustainable shifts towards more anti-inflammatory foods, crowding out the pro-inflammatory ones most of the time. Think of it as nurturing your body's inner fire brigade. Here's how. Embrace the rainbow. On your plate, make fruits and vegetables the stars of your meals. Aim for a variety of colors: deep greens, spinach, kale, broccoli, bright reds and oranges, berries, peppers, sweet potatoes, purples, blueberries, red cabbage, yellows, squash, bananas. These are packed with antioxidants and phytonutrients that actively fight inflammation and protect your cells. Frozen is just as good as fresh. Choose smart carbs. Swap refined grains for whole grains most of the time. Think brown rice, quinoa, oats, barley, and whole wheat bread/pasta. Check the label. Whole wheat flour should be the first ingredient. These digest slower, preventing those blood sugar spikes and crashes, and they're full of fiber, which is crucial for gut health, and a healthy gut is key to reducing inflammation. Focus on healthy fats. Make olive oil your go-to for cooking and dressings. Enjoy a small handful of nuts, walnuts, almonds, or seeds, chia, flax, pumpkin daily. Add avocado to salads or sandwiches. Include fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines at least twice a week. They're rich in powerful anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Prioritize protein power. Ensure you're getting enough protein throughout the day to maintain muscle mass, which is vital for metabolism, strength, and balance as we age. Good sources include beans, lentils, tofu, eggs, chicken, turkey, fish, and Greek yogurt. Spreading protein intake across meals is better than loading up at dinner. Flavor with spice, not just salt. Many herbs and spices are potent anti-inflammatories. Turmeric, especially with a pinch of black pepper for absorption. Ginger, garlic, cinnamon, rosemary, and oregano aren't just tasty. They're healing. Experiment. Hydrate wisely. Remember part 1? Water helps flush out inflammatory byproducts. Keep sipping. The 80-20 rule, or be kind to yourself, aim to make these nourishing choices about 80% of the time. The other 20%, that's for life, for enjoyment, for that slice of birthday cake or your favorite occasional treat without guilt. Perfection isn't the goal. Consistent, positive change is. So, there we have them. Those 4 daily habits that might have been quietly nudging us towards feeling older than our years. Letting dehydration creep in, neglecting the deep repair of good sleep, getting stuck in long periods of stillness, allowing stress to simmer unchecked, and unknowingly fueling chronic inflammation with our food choices. But look at the power we hold. By simply paying attention to these areas and making gentle, consistent shifts, sipping more water, creating space for restful sleep, breaking up our sitting, actively managing stress with small moments of calm, and choosing foods that nourish and calm our bodies more often than not, we are not just slowing down aging. We are actively investing in our vitality. Imagine waking up with more energy to enjoy your grandchildren, tend your garden, pursue a hobby, or simply relish a beautiful sunrise. Imagine moving with less stiffness, thinking with more clarity, and feeling a deeper sense of calm and resilience throughout your day. That's not a fantasy. It's the very real potential that comes from removing these subtle saboteurs. Remember, this isn't about overhauling your life overnight. It's about progress, not perfection. Start with just one small change that feels manageable. Maybe it's keeping that water glass full. Maybe it's setting a timer to stand up and stretch every hour. Maybe it's adding an extra serving of colorful vegetables to your dinner tonight. Each positive choice is a brick in the foundation of a healthier, more vibrant you. I'd love to hear how this resonates with you. What's one small habit shift you might try? Or perhaps you've already discovered something that makes you feel more energetic. Share your thoughts, your experiences, or even your questions down in the comments below. Let's learn from and support each other on this journey. Your insights could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If you found this conversation helpful, please give the video a thumbs up. It really helps others find this information. And consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss future videos dedicated to living your best, healthiest, most vibrant life after 60, 70, 80, and beyond. Because the years ahead, they hold so much potential for joy, connection, growth, and simple, deep contentment. Here's to embracing them with energy, strength, and a spirit that feels truly alive. You deserve nothing less. Thank you so much for joining me. Take good care of yourselves and keep shining. Until next time.